Hi, this is James Gordon October here with the first book review in the October Terror. The book I'll be talking about today, Video Kill by Joanne Fluke. This is from Pocket Books, and this was published in March of 1989. For the first book in the October Terror series, this is a really disappointing book. I was really disappointed with this book. Despite the cool title and this really interesting cover, this book was a huge letdown. I was going to this thing thinking this is going to be a really shocking, graphic, violent novel with a killer that films his murders and then leaves a copy for the police to watch while he keeps another copy for himself. I didn't get any of that. Instead, what I got was this mostly laid back, tamed, cheap crime thriller. That's what this feels more like. It doesn't really feel like a horror novel or a slasher even. I was so just disappointed this whole book entirely. While it's well written, like the writing structure is good, it's very detailed. It's got some iconic locations in Los Angeles that takes place in mostly in the Hollywood area. But the rest of the book was just really disappointing. There was characters I really didn't care for. There's no one I really liked. The what else? One thing I noticed in this book is that everyone seems to be very cheery. Like everyone's just a bit too damn happy. Even when something bad's happening, everyone is just cheerily happy. There's a lot of romance in the book, and I thought it's like the story felt like focused way too much on that, not enough on the killer and the horror aspect of the story, and a whole bunch of other things. I really did not like this book at all. It was just not. It was just terrible. I thought this sucks. I thought with a cover. With a cool title like Video Kill, you expect this to be violent. It's not, and the kill scenes, they're tamed. They're very tamed. This sucks. So overall, this was not a good book to start off with the October Terror. I'm hoping that the next book I picked out will be a lot better than this one. All right, on to the book review. Plot: two screenwriters, Eric Nelson and Tony Rocco, are sitting in the office of CineScope Studios, run by Alan Goldberg. His uncle, who founded the company back in the 60s, Uncle Meyer, had a tight and strict control over his film company, but has filmed many successful teen comedies, monster, action flicks, and even horror. After Uncle Meyer passed control to Alan, he took full control and removed some of his uncle's tight restrictions, but has a say in his company. Both Eric and Tony are trying to sell their latest screenplay they have written, as they need cash badly as they pitch their latest idea, Video Kill, to other major studios, and all of them have rejected the idea. Alan is also hesitant to accept their deal after their last film, Free Fire, didn't do well. Both Eric and Tony explain their new script is about a serial killer who records his murders and leaves copies for the police. Alan knows he can't produce the film if he doesn't have the approval from Uncle Meyer, and would tear the script to shreds if he found out it was both Eric and Tony. After pitching the idea along with explaining how other studios have done similar films, they make an offer for $2,000 along with getting some work to do television episodes. Alan decides to give these two guys another chance, as if this film becomes a hit, they'll make a lot of money, and accepts their deal. 1 year later, on July 4th, Sharon Lyles, a young, attractive upcoming actress, is finishing her tennis game as she returns to her home. Upon entering, she hears the shower running. Thinking she left it on, Sharon goes to shut it off, only to find a man wearing an executioner's robe and a video camera on a tripod. At first, she thinks it's her boyfriend pulling a prank, but suddenly realizes that the man is much taller than Bob. Sharon tries to run out of the bathroom, but the killer grabs her with a tight grip, forcing her into the shower, then pulls out a knife. Sharon screams as she's stabbed to death. The killer records a few moments of the dead actress lying in the shower, then stops the tape, rewinds it, and places it on the marble-topped counter for the police to find it, and leaves. Both Eric and Tony are enjoying their work at CineScope Studios, as both friends who met back in the Vietnam War have been working on rewrites for a detective series that's earning both friends a nice paycheck. After eating donuts and drinking, the two friends travel through LA in Eric's dark green Volvo. Returning to their office, Tony gets a call from Alan that someone has stabbed a woman to death in the shower and left a videotape for the police. Shocked, he turns on the news and is horrified by what he sees. He visits Eric at his house and tells him the bad news. Eric is shocked and concerned their project may be cancelled because of how similar their script is, while Tony believes they won't have to worry about anything. While Alan is trying to get the production of Video Kill to happen, however, when his uncle gets wind of this, he's trying to shut down as Alan is doing everything in his power to keep his uncle out of the picture. Another murder happens with a well-known actress found dead in a love tunnel boat as she's been strangled to death with a videotape left next to her. While the police are trying to figure out who the killer is and find clues, Alan has decided to change the setting of Video Kill as a true story film rather than fiction and has already picked a director. Both Eric and Tony agree to the changes and get Lone Michaels to do the photography to keep the director Tom Steiner from turning it into another slasher film. As the video killer dubbed by the media strikes again, which is now causing friction between the two friends, with Tony becoming obsessed with the snuff tapes while complimenting the killer's handiwork. However, Eric is disgusted by this, along with feeling his script is being violated, along with trying to get him to write more gruesome murders for their film, which he is now having second thoughts on. Further problems within the studio threatens to shut down the production of Video Kill. But Tony notices the killer is copying the style of a legendary film director, and it might lead them to who the killer is. With the aid of Detective Sam and his ex-wife reporter Kathy, they try to figure out who is the video killer before he strikes again. Will Video Kill get to make its debut on the big screen, or will it not make the final cut? Video Kill was a mostly boring and laid-back horror novel, and at times wasn't even scary at all. While it was detailed in locations and characters, however, I felt dialogue could get over-exaggerated at times, along with characters being too cheery as almost everyone acts happy, even if something bad happens. While some characters were better crafted than others, but nobody really stands out in this novel. But by far the worst thing about Video Kill is the author giving away the killer's identity on Chapter 1. No mystery or building up the suspense, just blatantly reveals who's doing the killings, but doesn't explain why. And the murders themselves aren't really graphic as I was hoping for, with such a cool title like Video Kill. The murder scenes are very tamed and not brutal or gory as I hoped they were gonna be. And at one point, the two screenwriters, Eric and Tony, accuse each other as the killer, going on their own theories of why one of them wasn't here at a certain time or not answering their phones, till they both realize that neither one is the killer. And when they catch on how the killer is picking his victims, they easily defeat the killer and make the shocking discovery of who it is, as there wasn't any challenge to it. I also didn't like how nobody is questioning how the killer knew about Eric and Tony's script till later on in the novel, as it seems everyone is too focused on this film project than trying to figure out how the killer is copying their script. I felt this could have been a lot better if the author made it a mystery of who the killer was till the very end, made it more violent, and cut out all the unnecessary dialogue and focused more on the murders. Then Video Kill could have been a lot better. Overall, I don't recommend Video Kill. It's a very tame, boring, and not really a scary novel. It feels more like a cheap crime novel. I'm very disappointed with this novel, as I want it to be more of a slasher thriller than a crime novel. I'm sure you can find a better slasher-themed novel than this one. And that's the review today. Hope you enjoy it. And yeah, this was just an absolute letdown to start off the October Terror series. I was hoping this would be a really good book, and I'm just so disappointed with it. Like, just really disappointed with this book. I was expecting when I was going to start reading this book that the killer is going to be like a vicious psychopath, and he does like these brutal murders, and he records them on a camera, and then he like leaves a copy for the police to find, that he keeps like the original tape for himself. But no, I didn't get any of that. All I got was a guy that just copies off this film director, which I'm not going to give away because that kind of reveals it's a key plot point in the story. So I'm not going to reveal who this legendary director is, but I will say that he's a very well known thriller director, suspense, and even horror too. But once he starts copying this other director, I already knew the murders were not going to be graphic as I wanted them to be. Like the beginning part is probably the more graphic scene of the book, and that's about it. Like the rest of the murders are mostly just women being strangled. I thought, really, you're gonna do this? Like, it was just really disappointing. And giving away the killer on Chapter 1, I really don't like that at all. I don't like when authors just plain reveal this is the killer. Like, come on, you're not gonna make it like any more build a suspense or make it more interesting. You're just gonna plain reveal, here's the killer, here's his name. I really hate that. It's like if you read a Where's Watto book, you go to page 1 and Watto just stands there with a sign that says "Here I am." It's like Garver's not even trying to make it a mystery. And I really didn't like that many of the other characters. While Eric is more sympathetic in the book, Tony, on the other hand, doesn't feel like it. And he doesn't seem to care. He seems like he kind of like felt he was being sexually turned on by these like snuff tapes, and he wears like these like throughout the novel. Tony wears these like ridiculous shirts with these like bizarre texts on. I thought, where the hell is he getting these shirts from? Like, who's selling these shirts with these like weird messages? I feel like he's doing it himself, but I didn't. I really didn't like the character Tony a lot. Eric I felt was more sympathetic, but I didn't really find him that interesting too. And everyone is just cheery and happy throughout this entire book. Like, everyone is just acting happy, and there's just so many moments where characters are engaging with their girlfriends, their wives. I'm like, oh, cut this shit out. I don't want to read this. I want to read about a psychopathic killer killing people and he records his murders. That's what I want to read. Not this shit. Oh, it was just absolutely disappointing. Let's see, and the ending was just another huge letdown. They figure out they figure out how the killer is picking his victims, and they get there within seconds, and they easily defeat him. Like, there's no challenge whatsoever. I thought, come on, you're not even trying. So, if you see this book, Video Kill, avoid it. It's not worth reading. It's just not worth reading. I think a lot of people would be disappointed by it than a lot of more people are just gonna be disappointed by it. Oh man, it's not something good at all. And I thought, for such a cool idea, this book just really drops the ball on all levels. It just sucks. All right, that is it for that review. Hope you enjoyed it. And I am currently reading a collection of short stories. I'm not going to give away the title, as I want to make each book a reveal a surprise, but I am hoping this collection I read gets a lot better, because the first like 7 or 8 stories I read have been all disappointing. I thought this book is not off to a good start at all, and I'm really getting bored of it. So I'll be reading more of it, and I hope it gets better, because I thought this is not good. I don't want to have like 2 stinkers to start off October Terror. I want some really good books. So, and I also going to get started my next horror book, and hopefully this one will be a lot better than the Video Kill. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and please don't forget to subscribe to October Library, the YouTube channel, and the Facebook group of the same name, and please post your review of fiction. Until then, I'll catch you later.